All right, welcome back Under the Rug. And as we continue our family structure discussions, today we're going to be diving into a topic that is hitting home for apparently a lot of men in this country, and they're suffering in silence. And so we're going to uncover this issue of the spiteful, trifling, Bahamian baby mothers that use their children as pawns to get certain things out of somebody or just to get whatever they want in a relationship. And we're supposed to have Chrissy and Dakota and Gail on, but Chrissy is busy stuffing her face as it is Thanksgiving today. So she is stuffing her face. And Dakota had to be called in, I think, to do some extra work because tomorrow is Black Friday. And so she is working extra. And so we have Jay, who hasn't been here in a while, but he is back. Jay is no stranger.
Welcome back.
And Gail Hannah.
Who never know what she talking about.
Well, I mean, I think you know what you're talking
I think you're very opinionated.
Sometimes.
So, plenty to
Very
say and don't
intelligent.
know, right?
Yes, sometimes. And also, we want to...
Real baby.
We did it on the other show. We want to big up on this show. The late,
Ronnie
great
Butler.
Ronnie Butler.
Rest in peace.
Past Sunday Pass. The
That's in
legend.
paradise.
Rise
Greatest
in
Bahamian
power.
artist ever. We want to big him up. We want to give a shout out to his family, all his support system. Legend was lost, but he will also live throughout his music. So he isn't dead.
Long
in my
live
eyes.
Ronnie Butler.
I will always have the relationship because I could always put on any of his classic songs and
Yeah.
rock out to some Ronnie. So Ronnie will live on forever in the hearts of many Bahamians and hopefully for Bahamians for generations to come. So
Yeah.
big up the legend, Ronnie Butler.
I see Nadia here. Hi, Nadia. Nadia is a faithful listener, so just want to shout her out. Hope she's doing okay.
Yes. Now look at Kayla's one again, a different discussion. We can discuss
Abuse,
that. I say
spanking.
Abuse, spanking. Yes.
We
Spanking
have
is
done.
abuse, Kayla.
We've
She's trying
talked
to-
about
she's trying to-
spanking
she's trying to
before,
bait
have
you.
we?
Yes.
She's trying to bait you.
Trying to bait me, but then
No,
y'all know
Kayla
where I
isn't
stand
like
on
that.
Yeah,
Y'all know where I
come
stand.
on.
No, Kayla isn't like that.
You don't think so?
No,
Okay.
she's cool. She's
Okay.
cool.
But call us, Kayla, if you want to elaborate on that. Call us 804-5219. You can WhatsApp call us if you want to save your money for Black Friday. 804-5219. You can call us. But yes, we're going to be talking about these baby mamas that keep the children out of the father's lives, that harass the father all the time, that are very spiteful, vindictive, and do just petty things and don't have any concern for the effect that it has on the child. So we're going to be discussing that. And like I said earlier, apparently a lot of men are suffering in silence. And Gail and Dakota, I think, made posts last week
on Facebook.
on Facebook. If you want to get into it, Gail, explain what you guys did. and
Yeah,
what you
so
started
I
with.
mean, we posted this topic to say, we'd like to talk to men about their experiences, and of course, the first response was, "Y'all gotta be joking."
Really?
You know what I mean?
Why?
Sound like a
because
trap.
man, this a trap. This a trap. All of this a trap.
It's a trap.
This is something that is trying to get us in trouble. If I post my baby mother crazy, da 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 da, and so it was really a struggle to have one or two people actually comment on this topic and share their experiences with us. So we did have one or two brave souls, and again, it's not too late if you'd like to inbox me. We're keeping it anonymous. We don't want to put you on blast. We don't want to get you in any trouble, but we'd like to be real about this issue.
Yes.
We'd like to find out exactly what's going on, and I'm just looking for the post right now so that I want to read this verbatim.
Okay.
I don't want to, I don't want to make anything up. I would like to read it exactly as it was mentioned.
Well, we got a call.
We got a
call? This call, yeah. Good evening, caller. Welcome under the rug.
Hi, good evening. This is Shaniqua Johnson, third time caller.
Hi, Shaniqua.
Our faithful caller, Shaniqua Johnson. Yes, ma'am.
I'm calling on behalf of a friend that I have.
Okay.
He has 2 kids. In the past, he dated this girl. And, the relationship was volatile. It didn't work out, but they had a beautiful child together. When he finally moved on with his life, this lady took the child and moved to a different country.
Oh, that is
That's
real
said
as well.
something-
Something similar that we
That
talked
is
about
real
on,
as well.
on Empress's show.
Yeah,
Wow.
she said something to the effect of, "You have another child now, you don't need this one," or something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Would limit the calls, would not tell him where the child is, doesn't want to send the child for visits and all of that stuff.
Wow.
So it is real, and like Gail was saying, people don't want to talk about it because they feel like these women are going to be even more vindictive.
It's mental abuse and mental terrorism, actually.
That's crazy, man. That's ridiculous. And so, what course of action has he taken to, or is he trying to like get the child back, or is he just counting it as a loss?
He's been trying to locate the child, honestly, to then like explore his options. But he had the baby with banana cream pie, and this is a direct result of not, I guess, knowing the person that you're having the child with, their values, where they stand, what happens if we don't work out.
Right. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for that contribution. We appreciate it.
So yeah, the comments that I got, don't let me start. I being tropsy by posting the comment.
Oh Lord.
I can't.
All right, guys.
Okay, thank you, Shaniqua. I can't. She crazy. When another commenter said, you have to understand the law, and the police give a lot of leeway to unmarried baby mothers.
Yes,
they can keep our kids from us we as men, I believe, do not have as much recourse in terms of an immediate solution.
Because you have no rights.
Right.
Yeah.
So horror stories, I'll inbox you. I have horror stories. I understand. Oh, another commenter said, I understand now why some men be deadbeats. They don't want to be, but some of these women encourage them to be by keeping the child from them, or being vindictive or spiteful. So that's another reality as well.
I wish they could elaborate on that.
Because some men actually want to take care of the children.
Right, no, we get
but
that,
they get so exhausted.
But because the mother...
that energy, that back and forth with the mother, because a lot of females believe that because we have a child together,
because people get a little touchy about these terms. So let's say women and men,
Okay.
I guess it's the sensitive era we live in.
Anyway, a lot of women.
What do you fill out on your application for?
Let's say a lot of mothers.
Okay, and a lot of mothers believe that once they have a child with someone, and a lot of men too, so it goes both ways. They believe that you're in a relationship with them forever.
Right.
So a lot of people aren't mature enough to co-parent once the relationship is done.
So the baby was already born into this level of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Where it was supposed to be a tool to keep them on.
And in some cases, that's the precise reason why they get pregnant. They know their relationship is rocky, but the benefits are great. So you know what? Let me keep this BEC worker. Let me keep this BTC man. Let me keep this. He's a good government job.
Government worker.
Yeah, I could get this check, whatever, and I could. But and they're not putting anything into it in the side, because it's the child at the end of the day that's getting robbed. They're getting robbed of both parents because sometimes the father is the substance that is needed, and the mother doesn't have what it takes to really fill that role to with the education supplement or the emotional stuff like that. Not to say women are dumb, but I'm just saying that
saying that, Jay?
In some cases, no. In some cases, when you have an overly vindictive, crazy baby mother, they don't have the sense to support their child in that way, and that's where this cycle, this vicious cycle that we see, where in these single parent homes where kids don't fully develop properly, because they're missing that person that pretty much probably had that education or that literacy to help them out, that was missing from their lives.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'll read. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna read Rumi.
I say women stupid.
She said I was married.
All old tough.
Jay trying to reverse back out that situation.
I'm trying to reverse back. I'm just trying to let it be clear.
Clarify, people sense
because I got to run in 2022.
Oh jeez. Roommate Noel says, I was married to the Twilight Zone. The ex-wife, spiteful mother, bled into our marriage. This woman would call and show up unwelcomed. I was told it didn't matter what time of the day or night she called. He had to take her calls.
Hold on, time
our
out.
divorce became final on October 31st. Too much drama.
Yeah.
What time to take calls? Any time of day?
Yeah. Because they have an entitlement.
She added something to it, eh?
Yeah. No, what happened is, I think what she's saying is, essentially, the baby mama feel like, listen, I have your children, you better take my call anytime I call. You need to answer this phone.
And that's another thing. Sorry.
They have no respect
let's
for
start
boundaries.
The show, because that's another part of the show.
Relationship.
Yes.
I mean, it's
so by
absolutely
nature of the
ridiculous.
child, it's like a all access pass to the
Yes.
man, regardless of
Yes.
his new relationship or whatever the
Yes.
case may be. Where because I have this child, I demand and I need your attention all the time.
Exactly.
I call it the fake
And
powder
that's
pussy.
disrespectful. And I think that the man is also wrong in that situation for encouraging that type of behavior. Now, if the child is in an emergency,
Yes.
all access pass granted.
Yes.
Meaning the child needs some assistance, immediate hospital care,
Yes.
or whatever the case may be. Anything else can be conducted during business hours, let's say, right? But to be in a
Reasonable
marriage,
hours, that's what
right?
I'm saying.
But to be in a marriage where what time of day or night she called, he had to take her calls. Child, Rene, you have the patience of Job.
Yeah, well,
Well,
no,
no,
apparently
because
it
they
ran out
divorced.
because she said they got divorced. She
And I
couldn't
don't
take it.
blame
I
her
don't
because
blame
who
her
could
either.
take that?
Yeah, I don't blame her either.
I actually have another story from another lady. Now that we're kind of on that same
Wrap it
subject,
up.
Go
she
ahead.
Condoms ain't
said,
expensive.
she said I was friends.
Don't let them poke hole in it either.
Sorry,
Open
the
it
thing
yourself
disappears. I'm trying to get it back
throw it away
right
yourself.
now. She shared this in my inbox. I was friends with my now boyfriend for almost 11 years. When we first started dating, we kept a low profile and focused on our blossoming relationship to see if we wanted to be together because he has a child. After a few months of dating, we became official. At this time, I had already met his immediate family, including his daughter. Somehow his daughter's mother found out that he was dating me, and she would literally stalk us, call my phone from unknown numbers and hang up, and stalk my social media. It got so bad to the point where she would call his mom and sisters and tell them that I was with another woman and that my boyfriend was actually on drugs. Wow. She threatened him countless times and even went so far as to take away his visitation rights if he did not break up with me. She's young and thought that by having a child he would have stayed. The sad part is I felt a bit sorry for her because she was never like this prior to having the child. But he wasn't ready for a child and she decided to stop using contraception, I guess, the
Birth
pill or
control,
whatever, birth
yeah.
control without him knowing. I grew up with step-parents, so him having a daughter didn't faze me. My parents and step-parents always got along. Co-parenting played an important role in my upbringing, but sadly, I don't think his daughter will get a chance to experience that because of her mother's jealousy. So we have a
that is
situation
sad.
where you're dating somebody with a child. And I believe that a lot of people that come into that type of situation have the best intentions at heart for the child, right?
Which
You're
people do you
dealing
mean, like-
by, let's
Oh,
say,
you
a
mean
new
the new
partner.
person.
The new,
Right.
well, in this case, it'd be a female.
Right.
So the new person in the man's life would have the best intentions for your child as an extension of that man. But because you are still interested in the relationship, again, your plan to get pregnant for him didn't work out in keeping him, etc. You actually go to the extent of making the new girlfriend or wife's life hell.
Obsession.
Right.
No, it's an obsession. That's why I said it's mental terrorism. And it's mental abuse, not for the man, not only for the man, but for the person in a relationship with that man, and you lower his
And the
prospects of having a successful relationship with your antics. And they don't care, because if I'm gonna be alone and miserable, you're gonna be alone and miserable, and you know what? Maybe because we could get back together and be alone and together and miserable, or whatever the case may be. But it's just sad.
And that's
It's
selfishness, man.
Yeah.
There's a
it's
lot
selfish,
of selfish,
and it's pathetic.
yeah, very much so. Selfish people with voids that they're seeking to fill, and if they can't fill that void with that person, they just would destroy any kind of relationship with anybody else. If that's like, if I can't be happy, none of y'all gonna be happy.
Yeah.
They like you said, terrorists, like suicide bombers. Like, yeah, I killing everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody could die.
yeah, and
She
including
remain-
that, and they destroy their own lives in the process.
Rumi actually added to her situation as well. She said some women hold these men as emotional hostages. My ex's vindictive ex-wife was a police officer, so of course now she's at an advantage
Oh,
by
wow.
her position alone.
Oh wow.
The law was biased. She moved out of town, unenrolled the kids at school, and led mounting legal battles. These kids become leverage.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing.
The amount of things these
No.
people are
No,
doing is
and you have to understand, especially with the law standpoint, males don't have a leg to stand on before the court.
And this is what I wanted to say, and I wish I had done some research into the actual law to see what it actually says, because how can women have such power over the children's life? Like, how, when you can see them, like she said, she's gonna take away visitation rights. Immediately what went in my head, who is she to say she can take away visitation rights?
Because here's the thing.
Like, what does the law actually say?
In a case like that, you have to understand, some people don't go and formalize their visitation before the court. So it's an informal situation.
Right.
For a very long time. And then a lot of guys don't really know what their rights are or what rights could be afforded to them through the courts. But again, it's an uphill battle. You have to get the right attorney.
Right.
You have to go before the right magistrate, and you have to have all your ducks in a row. You have to show receipts of where you actually try and help the child from a financial situation to show that you are competent and of a sound mind. That could be there, because in the case, just say something happens to the mother, custody doesn't always automatically go to the father.
Right. It might go to the
the
grandparents or her family. Yeah.
Like, I
You know
wish,
what I mean?
I don't
So-
know if we
You know, they have a saying that says you know for sure the mother is the mother,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you don't know the
Mommy
father
baby,
is the father.
daddy baby.
Right. So it might be that kind of traditional,
But if
ancient
someone-
way of thinking where
If someone is aware of the law in that aspect, please comment or call in to inform us of what the actual law says as it relates to custody of children. Because I'm curious to know, and I'll probably look it up after the show. Because this is crazy to me that somebody.
You mean
can
the
just,
chain of custody, or what the statistics prove?
not statistics, but the actual what the law says when it comes to custody in terms of a breakup or something like that. If people get separated or divorced, what does the law say in terms of custody? You
Well,
know
the
what I
thing
mean?
I
about
think it's
this
interpretation of the law.
and the thing about it is it's not limited to people who are unmarried.
No.
That's true too.
This is the experience of married people as well. So it's like even under the confines of the law in a marriage, it seems as though the woman
Women
has
have the rights when
advantage.
it comes to paternity.
Yes,
Right.
Yes. And Sandakan is saying stop having children outside of marriage.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, Sandakan.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Sandakan, okay.
And
Why did you have a
Stop
child
juicing.
outside of marriage? Maybe you could explain that to us.
Sandakan have a job outside of marriage?
Ask him.
No. Oh, okay.
Story number 1.
Because boy, that would have been something.
Story?
Go ahead. Story
You have
number
a
1.
story?
Okay, so we getting into
You
some
say
stories.
no?
She said he ain't got no children. Sound like Gail knows something we ain't know it.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
Yeah, no,
My name is
something,
Pat,
no.
and I ain't inflicting that.
But before you read that, I want you to address this because I think you did it before we actually started the show. They said the reality is there are two sides to every story, and this is Latoya Monroe. You'll be surprised to know what some of these alleged baby fathers have done to have that reaction from their children's mother.
And of course, we're not touching on that today. We're just touching on the crazy behavior of vindictive and spiteful baby mothers. Because, yes, in some cases, you believe that the man has done something, but at the same time, this is how you've chosen to react to it. So a lot of men, maybe they've done something to create that crazy baby mother. But I do know a lot of fathers who have this experience who are actually interested again in taking care of the child. But because the mother is not with the father or whatever the situation may be, it's not working to her perceived advantage.
A direct
She
advantage.
engages in that kind of behavior. So we're not touching on the baby fathers today.
Right.
We
right.
touching on the baby
right.
mamas.
Right. This is for the baby fathers that actually want to
Are
be
victims.
good fathers.
Yes.
And they are being held out of their children's lives for whatever reasons, the mother.
Well, here's another story. My baby mother put my daughter out at the age of 2, and I dead serious.
Hold on, what? Wait, what? You sure?
What
No,
happened?
that's a typo. She meant to put 20. Is a zero supposed to be under that, behind that? At
Say
2?
what now? Hold on.
My
Say that
baby
again.
mother put my daughter out at the age of 2, and I dead serious. She is now 9. You could never ask to help. I guess ask her to help with anything for my daughter. She working but never have no money. I can't even stand to have a conversation with her. I just have to call her and ask if she want me bring my daughter for the weekend, and the answer is 95% of the time she busy.
So in this case, we have an absolute deadbeat mother
Yeah, that's a
that
deadbeat
cut
mother.
ties with her daughter because of what? For what
Exactly.
reason? Like there's no
probably,
reason.
Maybe she
probably a
didn't
new
wanna have
relationship.
this-
Most likely a new relationship.
Think so?
Yeah, most likely.
Like, why do people go
We have a
through
story?
with the pregnancy? I mean, Roommate has another one, and she says, let me tell you how far
We
they
need
can-
roommate on the show.
Yeah, roommate, please call us.
Miss
Call us,
Knowles.
roommate.
Roommate, call us, please.
804-5219, because it sounds like you got plenty. Oh, WhatsApp.
WhatsApp
If you have
call us.
WhatsApp, roommate, you can WhatsApp call us, because
Yeah.
you're in Louisiana watching. Thank you for tuning in, by the way.
Thank you.
She says, let me tell you how far they can and will go. My son was a naive 8-year-old
Son, I guess.
I guess that's supposed to be son,
Yeah.
The ex's vindictive ex-wife accused my son of inappropriate touching of their 1-year-old daughter.
Oh,
Child Protective Services, I guess, got involved, vindicated my son. That was the beginning of the end for me. Man, I have stories. I'm a Bahamian living in Louisiana. The extent of how far a vindictive ex-wife will do to spite the ex-husband, in all caps, has no limits.
Yep.
Yeah.
It seemed like the gloves come off.
This is insane.
Yeah.
She says she's literally living in a twilight zone. And I this is insane. I've never heard these kinds of stories.
Here's the thing. Accusations in this present time really scare me. So I'm very, very careful how I interact with people, because as you climb or as you achieve certain things, as you reach certain milestones in your lives, personal or professional, like people could make one accusation and turn your life into shambles.
Completely ruined.
So that I'm not even surprised at that.
Or some,
I'm not surprised at that.
Accuse the 8-year-old of touching a 1-year-old?
Because you can't get the
That's
father,
very,
so you're
very
gonna put
serious.
his family through stress.
Right, that's very,
Goodness,
very
man.
serious. If those
We
accusations...
sick, man.
Yeah.
We have a serious sickness, man. People are mentally disturbed to a point where they'll do these extremes just to destroy someone else's life out of their, sadness, depression. This is crazy. I didn't think people would go to that extent. This is
Wanna
incredible.
read another
Go
story?
right ahead.
Hey, I'm commenting on the post, so they saw the post on Facebook.
Oh, roommate, she asked the number 804-5219, roommate. So if you're on WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp call us 804-5219. Let me put it in the comments and pin it. Go ahead, Gail. Sorry.
Hey, I'm commenting on the post. My baby mother still being a bitch. Won't let me see my daughter like that. I can only see her on some Saturdays. Don't take the stuff I bring her. I guess she doesn't take the stuff I bring her.
Man.
She sends them back with my mother and asks for the money.
Oh,
Bad
yep,
mouthing me,
yep.
say I don't take care of my child. Now she is pregnant for someone else. I rarely see my daughter. The other day I was at my aunt's funeral. They dropped my daughter off and didn't even say anything. My aunt saw my daughter walking through the rows of the church and got her. Then asked me how could I lose her. I told her I didn't even know she was here.
Oh, my goodness.
When the funeral over, her grandmother came for her and said, I brought her to see you. I said, I'm at a funeral. This is not a setting. This is not the setting. And besides, you did not tell me you brought her. She told me I thought everyone in here is related to you. And no, she is. So I know she was safe. I most curse her, but yeah, I have a dumbass baby mother. Don't post my name.
Wow. Like, and guess what?
Yeah.
That that happens so much. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised the way people are so trivial, and it trickles down. So you have a dumb baby mother, and then you have a dumb Grammy to go along with it. That supports
birds of a feather.
No, that supports the child in their dumbness. When a guy takes the time out, whether he buys groceries for his kids, lunch items for his kids, or clothing for his kids, there's no excuse for you to turn away those products.
Yes.
For
yes.
Somebody
money.
actually inboxed me to say that the baby mother didn't want the father to bring the whatever she had needed for the child because he was driving another woman's vehicle, or another woman
I heard that. I
was
hear that all the
dropping
time.
him.
Yep.
Was helping.
Ridiculous.
So his new girlfriend or his new wife was taking him to bring the stuff,
Yeah.
and she refused it because she didn't want that bitch around her house.
Right.
Wow.
And in
Or
cases
slut or hoe or insert adjective there.
And in cases where there is a reasonable excuse where you don't want the father to be buying stuff, maybe he doesn't know the proper sizes or stuff like that when it comes to clothing and stuff like that. So that's where co-parenting comes in, where he is aware of what's going on, because he could say, hey, I'm going to pick up X, Y, Z. What size does she wear right now?
Yeah.
Bing, bing, bing. And that's how you deal with situations like that. But the fact that they want these monetary gains, it just shows that the children aren't children to them. They're paychecks.
Don't give me this. Don't give me these Pampers. Don't give me this formula. Give me the money.
And you know what they do, and it's so sad that you see it all the time. They drill and condition these kids to say their father doesn't want them, their father doesn't love them, they isn't into them,
That's
they
another-
died,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you wonder why kids grow up with this chip on their shoulder towards their parents.
Yes.
Learning that their father
that-
doesn't care for them,
Yeah.
when in actuality the mother is keeping them
away. And it's so hard to break, even if the father eventually gets a chance 15, 16 years down the line, 18 years down the line, it never is the same because
the foundation is already laid.
Exactly, and it's shaky.
Built upon. They built upon.
You would have to
foundation.
break that and start all over, and in some cases, it's you rob a person of a lifetime because when someone is a mature basis, say at 30, and they want a relationship with their father that they never knew, maybe 5-10 years later he dies.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you can't be doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, the child, they don't see these children as human beings. They're just paychecks or opportunity for paychecks. And it's like, it's crazy. What, someone call it? She tried calling
242-1242-804
5219.
5219.
Yeah, I didn't see the phone ring just now. I don't know. Let me open WhatsApp and be sure.
1242-804-52.
Yeah, because Rumi have some story. I mean, this is
Rumi's story is very
scary. And like Gail said earlier, we personally haven't experienced it, but we've heard stories. Jay, do you know anybody that's a personal friend or something that's actually dealing with a crazy baby mama or vindictive
Well,
baby mama?
I had several relatives that had to deal with it. I remember I was 15 when one of my key relatives broke up with his baby mother. They would live together for a while. They had 2 kids.
Ooh.
Right? 2 kids. One was an infant at the time. And I remember he had just left the house and he had taken some of his stuff. And he was pretty much the main breadwinner for the family. He has a trade and what's not. And his daughters love him. Like loved him to death. And because he's a good guy, right? I remember they used to sleep at our house all the time, and it was no different that weekend, and they were just there. And he was there because he had moved, right? The lady brought the police to our house, and I remember my uncle, the little girl being pried out of his hands. Like, she was crying for him.
That's traumatic.
You know what I mean? And I remember seeing that at 15. I couldn't fathom why it didn't make any sense, because I saw him as a good dad to his daughters, right? They obviously didn't want to go with their mother, but the police in this instance facilitated that instead of saying, you know what, this is a domestic situation, you all need to do this in the proper way, go before the court, establish paternity, what's not. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like the kids were in any danger or whatever. It was just to add that spice, because in that moment he had moved out of the apartment,
Right.
and that relationship was done.
Yeah. I actually went to a wedding over the past weekend where the mother didn't allow the child to participate in her father's wedding.
I've seen that as well. As a professional, I've seen that as well.
Married to, because he's getting married to somebody else.
Oh my
Another inbox. The baby mother picked up and moved to another country. Look like this the
common thread.
trend.
There's a common thread.
So just pick up the children and go.
Pick up and moved to another country 3 days after we broke up without warning and took the child. I asked to speak with my son. She withholds the child for 2 weeks, making excuses that the child is busy. What the child could be busy doing. So
exactly.
I have seen in a marriage, and this is it. This is an actual marriage. This isn't like they're separated or divorced or whatever, where the mother literally poisons the kids against their father. Anything that he tries to do, instill discipline or instill character in the kids or whatever, was seen as a negative thing. And now they're adults, and if you see the relationship, it's horrible. Like, it's violent. It's like it's insane. So people have to take a certain level of responsibility for the people that they lay down with, and guys included.
Well, and the guy,
there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, I agree, and I guess that's what kind of what Sandigan was saying a little bit, but
to do it within the confines of marriage. But that doesn't
no, that's not realistic. That's not realistic.
People that doesn't guarantee you,
right? No, but I mean, it was like being proactive in terms of, you know, like you said, really getting to know this person. And I know that's difficult because a lot of times you think you know somebody.
Yeah.
You would know them for a long time, and then you just see a whole other
that
side
baby
of them
thing has
after
changed a
while.
lot of things.
People do change and evolve.
That's that's a whole other situation. That's a whole other dynamic when you bring a child into.
I don't think so. You know, I think my rule of thumb has always been be the person that you want to attract. Right. I think so often in a very physical society, we look at outward appearance. Like, I know that's attractive to you, and we don't look at what's inside or behind it, and we wave those red flags too often.
Right.
So we
True.
continue to push
Look
through
past it, yeah.
what's a horrible situation, and then we make very, very bad decisions, and there are products and consequences for those decisions. So I think if you realize something is a red flag, there's no shame in starting over. There's no shame in walking away. Maybe getting a little joke with your rubbers on, with your coat on.
Yeah.
And you know, saying, you know what, I did fulfill my little thing. We had a little treat jokes. We had a good drink.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Well, the gentleman who had inboxed me said that the lady who had taken his son to another country, she wants another child. With him after all of this,
he's a good
because
daddy.
he's
He got good
relenting
deeds.
to travel to where she is in order to be able to see the child. She then tells him, "Now, I want another baby." So what is the child? I tell him, wait, don't do it, wait. I don't know if he do it or not, but I tell him, don't do it.
3,000. Don't do it.
I tell him, you can't do it. If you're having this much trouble, if the woman has if she could pick up and move to another country with your child and don't talk to you about it, 3 days after y'all decide this relationship is not working out, like, you trying to drop yourself again? I don't understand. Like, you trying to cement this?
Some people like bad treatment. Some people just like bad treatment.
But some people are only used to bad treatment.
True.
They only can exist in an environment of chaos because that's all they've existed in their entire lives.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to be in a good situation.
Yeah.
And when they get, and a lot of people get in that situation and they self-sabotage it because they're so used to chaos and negativity, that's where they find their comfort level.
Yeah.
So they have to turn good situations into bad ones. And that's I think that's a dangerous thing. D. Smith has a theory for us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
D. Smith says she has a personal theory that vindictive baby mothers are created when the baby mother is still very much in love and attached to the baby daddy.
Yes.
But the two of them had to cut ties because they weren't working out for whatever reason. That doesn't stop the fact, though, that she is still emotionally attached to him.
Yeah.
When a woman's emotions are involved, that's a whole different level of crazy.
Truth. Very
I
true.
mean, I think that's the main reason why we do have these situations, because
that attachment.
that attachment, that emotional, that quote unquote love. Because obviously, if love is driving you to this, you're
Like
not
you
in
said,
love.
obsession
That is an
and
obsession.
willingness to let go.
Yeah. That's sad. What happened
It's
is
sad.
our line is a bubbler, right? So y'all got to bear with us. The bubbler was freaking out just now, but I get WhatsApp open
Take it
now.
rude, Wally.
Because I know Roommate was trying to call.
Yeah,
so Roommate,
sorry,
if you
Roommate.
want to, you can call back. I have WhatsApp open now, so it should come through. And anybody else,
If anybody else would like to comment, if you have this experience, feel free to inbox any of us. You can inbox me, Greg, Jay.
Yes.
Inbox the page,
Yes.
and we will read your comment anonymously on air.
Yes.
But it's amazing how many men expressed, I guess, fear or terror
Yes. I
in
was
expressing
surprised.
themselves, because a lot of men in our country are suffering at the hands of a vindictive or spiteful
Got
mother.
someone calling now
Oh yeah.
from Florida. Good evening, caller. Welcome under the rug.
This is roommate Knowles Richardson.
Hey,
Hi,
roommate.
roommate.
Listen, roommate, my heart so tender right now because of these stories you sharing. I had no idea someone was going through all of this. Can you please
Man,
tell
let me
us?
tell you something,
Go ahead.
Greg.
Yay.
I have come through the worst of the worst situations.
Mm-hmm.
10 years of literally living in a twilight zone.
Wow.
Wow. And I see a lot of people saying, you got to know who you're getting involved with. Did you have any signs that this person was going to be this vindictive or crazy, like in the beginning, before you decided to get involved with this man or even take it to that next step of marrying him?
Okay, so you see my number shows up as a Florida number. I lived in Florida for 4 years. And 2 of those 4 years, he pursued me. So he lived in Louisiana. I lived in Florida.
How come it? Roommate?
I have had a young son at the time.
Uh-huh.
My
Right.
son's now 16. So he would come and visit. I had limited interactions with his children
For some reason,
until
it's
I
going
moved
in
to
and out.
Louisiana almost 9 years ago.
Hey, roommate, for some reason, like the call is like we can hear you and then it like fades and then it comes back and then fades and comes back. I don't know if it's the internet connection. But
Let me try to call direct.
If
Instead of
you
through
don't
WhatsApp.
mind.
Okay, let's
'Cause
try that then.
we really want to hear your story.
Yeah, we really want to hear it. And I know it's difficult with it going in and out. So if you don't mind, you can call us back. direct, and let's see if it'll work that way.
Okay.
All right.
Well, another comment from D. Smith saying it's like if I can't have you, nobody else will type thing. These vindictive baby mothers have going on in their mind, which is true, right? If I can't have you, we have this child together. I can't have you, then nobody else will.
Exactly.
That sounds like abuse.
It is abuse, and it's like, but it speaks to what a lot of people are going through, and let's look at it from the vindictive baby mothers aspect, right? Like you said, oftentimes they probably come from an environment where they were lacking love and attention from their parents. They didn't get it at home, and so they seek it out, and they found it, or at least they thought they found it in this one person, and they don't want to let it go because it's something that they were seeking and they weren't used to having. There are a lot of incomplete people walking around seeking happiness in relationships. You know what I mean? All right, let's see if we can get it. Hey, roommate.
Okay, this
right.
has got to be better.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I lived in Florida for 2 of the years while we dated.
Right.
And it wasn't until I moved to Louisiana that I had any encounter with his 2 minor children
Okay.
and the ex-wife.
All right.
Ah, I see. So you had no idea?
Boundaries were never set clear. It appears that no boundaries were ever set clear from the very beginning with her.
He would just allow her to
She
do
would
whatever.
She would call 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, hell no.
She would call 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And when she would make these calls at these inappropriate times, what would be the reasoning? Would there be any reasoning, or like, what would she call and say?
Pure, unadulterated crap. Just nonsense. Oh, hey, are you watching the game?
Oh, wow.
What?
So just for small talk.
Not even about the children.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Oh, she want to have conversations.
Oh, no.
So that was intentional. She was intentionally trying to just put this wedge between you and your husband because she was probably jealous that you were the one he ended up marrying.
Well, they were married.
Okay, they were married.
8 years.
Oh, she's the ex-wife.
Okay.
And their marriage ended.
Okay.
There are 3 sides to every story.
Right.
Part of her issue with him was that she was angry at him.
Okay.
So she was going to unleash on whomever he became involved in. It just happened to be me.
Right.
You. Wow.
And you said you took that
So he
for
was
how long?
afraid of her.
How long were you married to him?
6.5 years of hell.
6
6 and a half years.
of hell.
Oh my goodness. And this was going on. This was like
A
constant throughout.
problem. It became a problem at year 3.
Oh, it became a problem year 3. And this is where you said when you guys moved?
No, we got married, and 3 years into the marriage,
Uh-huh.
Mm.
things started
Lord, why
to
does
get
feel-
really intense and crazy.
Go ahead, roommate. You talking? Oh, Lord. You're fading again.
He
not in this court?
accused my
It might be the court.
I don't think so.
daughter.
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you
Go
now. Go
ahead.
ahead.
She accused my then 8-year-old son of inappropriately touching one of the daughters. It first started with, oh, he's always trying to wrestle the girl.
He's always trying to wrestle her?
Wrestle the
That's what
girls.
she would say.
Wow.
Then it escalated to, she found a journal that the 6-year-old had written, where the 6-year-old said that she and my then 8-year-old son did it.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
boy.
Oh.
That's a lot.
So here it is, I'm having this very uncomfortable conversation with an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Right.
Who is, when I say naive. And I took my son to a psychologist because I was like, if there's a problem, we're going to find out.
Right.
I'm not one of these parents who say, oh, not my child.
Right.
I know the children will do show and tell. Hey, I have this. What do you have?
Right,
But to say traction, penetrate, and all this other stuff, no.
Right, that's a whole different level.
Yeah.
Like I said, Child Protective Services got involved. Again, she was a police officer.
Oh.
Boy, my goodness, roommate. Jeez. You strong.
So her side of the story is always going to be believable.
Yeah.
She has the law to defend her.
Right.
Yeah.
And they stick together no matter what.
Exactly.
So how do you get to
Exactly.
that situation?
I hired an attorney.
Uh-huh.
So that now he and I are married,
Uh-huh.
and I'm hiring an attorney to protect my son's interests,
Right.
sending out cease and desist
Oh my goodness.
to her.
So
How we ever survived? It was just me tolerating it
right.
and trying to make a marriage work that was never going to work.
Is your 8-year-old his son as well?
No, my son is from a prior marriage.
Oh. What was his response
So-
to her basically harassing your family?
He seemed like he was scared of her.
Oh, he was afraid of her.
That seemed to be a common thing.
And I don't know if it was.
It's because she's
He
a
works
female
in
police
corporate America.
officer.
He's in the military, plus he's in corporate America.
Oh.
Oh.
But he seems somewhat intimidated by the fact that she was a police officer.
Right.
Hold on one second, roommate. Let me switch this cord. It seems that there's probably a short in that cord while we having an issue here. In 1 second.
But that's crazy though, because by nature of her position, she
Roommate?
was able to basically intimidate
Yeah.
him and
And
his family.
manipulate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
She should have lost her job or something.
All right, go ahead, roommate.
She would show up at Thanksgiving at our house,
Oh,
unwelcome.
jeez. Sure. What?
She would call at inappropriate times.
Mm-hmm.
It was just never ending.
Wow.
That's harassment, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
that's
and like
torture.
what recourse do you have in a situation like that? Like what really can you do? Like when you said you hired lawyers.
Your son eventually
what-
got vindicated.
What really came out of that situation?
Well, by me hiring an attorney to protect my son, they would send out letters to her for cease and desist
Right.
because it was harassment.
Right.
Mhm.
And did she cease and desist?
No. She's a police
Wow.
officer.
So you're telling me these cease and desist letters don't really mean anything?
They don't. Just like
Wow.
restraining orders and protection orders
Right.
are only a piece of paper.
That's ridiculous.
That's cold.
So did it ever stop? Like to this day, are you still dealing with this issue?
Oh, no, I moved out of the house December 1 of 2016.
Okay.
Our divorce became final October 31st of this year.
Wow.
Ironically, I got married in the Bahamas July 10 of 2010, Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
My divorce became final on Halloween, and trust me, it was a hallowed day.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
So she accomplished her mission, which I
Wow.
feel was to essentially
Actually
break you
up the
guys
marriage.
up.
Right, because she didn't want him.
She
And
don't want
whatever-
nobody else to have him.
Oh, and
anger
she didn't
had
even want him.
directed- She didn't want him.
Wow. She just didn't
It
want.
was a situation of she didn't want him and she didn't want anybody else to have him. And he was too weak to
Wow.
stand his ground and took unnecessary... And,
Wow. Yeah, I can tell it's
okay,
very
let
difficult.
me get personal and transparent with you for a minute, okay?
Okay.
We've been intimate. The phone is ringing. He answers the phone.
Oh,
and
hell
it's her.
no. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay, that was it
What?
for me.
Wow.
What?
What is it?
How-
What is it that causes
what?
men to just allow these things to just like? Why can't men draw lines and set boundaries when it comes to their exes in these relationships?
Okay, you said you draw your
Because
lines,
they
you set
deal
the
with
boundaries,
guilt
and they cross it. Then what?
inadequacies that they have themselves.
Say again. They deal with.
They're dealing with the guilt and inadequacies that they have within themselves. And so they don't want to get this person angry.
Right.
They're being held as an emotional hostage.
Yeah.
She's the domiciled parent. She could take these children
And
across.
disappear.
She can stay within the same state, but she can make it so uncomfortable that it is impossible for him to spend time with those children.
Yeah.
And he wanted nothing more than to spend time
With
with
his
this
kids.
with these two children.
Those little
Wow.
girls.
And they and you know what it is? The women know that, and
Yeah,
they
use
use
that
that as a
against him.
weapon.
True.
They are used as a pawn.
Wow.
Wow.
This is crazy.
It wasn't until she actually stole from the police department, got fired. The children then came to live with us in June of 2015. And it just went from bad to even worse.
Oh, really?
Because now the kids are in the house. The kids are now in the household. She's having to pay him child support, and she is now she's cranked it up 10 times worse.
Wow.
Like, because I wouldn't think it would get worse if she got fired as a police officer. She got fired. Kids moved in with you guys.
She have more time.
Well, that's true. She had more time, but then she lost that leverage and that power.
Not
No,
necessarily,
because
you still have the connections.
once you
Your friends.
despite you being removed from that support, I'm sure, like Jay said, she had lots of friends in the force, and even here, you could retire, you could get fired or whatever. People still have that kind of connection.
And in which ways did it get worse, roommate?
Say again.
In which ways did it get worse?
Now you're dealing with the children who didn't really have a relationship with me, and then they're forced to have a relationship with me.
Yeah.
They tolerated me. And we're not talking about teenage kids. Their oldest child, their oldest daughter, and, all three of our children are musically gifted.
Okay.
They're all at the same high school. They all play in the same band. My son has 4 classes with his eldest stepsister.
Okay.
So the contact is constantly there.
Right.
But for so long, they only tolerated me because I was this supposedly made out to be a bad person. It didn't matter what I did for them. It didn't matter how kind I was, how nurturing I was, made them welcome.
The evil witch syndrome.
From their mother.
Right. So they're already being poisoned.
They're automatically going to take her side and be biased towards her and believe what she says to them.
It wasn't, we had a flood. Keep in mind, I moved out December 1 of 2016, okay? We had a flood in Louisiana in August of 2016. Schools were out for 2 months. My ex-husband is, in addition to working for corporate America, we work for the same company, but he is also in the Army National Guard. So he was gone for a month, Call of Duty. I'm at the house with his daughters.
Wow.
It wasn't until, I guess they were gripped by fear, that they came and actually opened up to me. We were told that you were this. We were told that you were that. We were told that you were the other thing. We've always felt that you were kind and nice and catering to us whenever we came to the house. Whether you knew that we were coming or not, we always found gifts welcoming us.
Yeah.
Wow. And the good thing is at least they recognize that.
But these conversations didn't happen until the end.
Yeah, when it's too late.
It's too late.
We had a flood in August. He was gone until September. So they had no one else to rely on besides me.
So it almost had to come to a point of
necessity.
Necessity absolutely had to, no choice.
Right. Mind you, I paid for us to go on vacation. We've gone to the Bahamas several times. I grew up in Freeport.
Okay.
We've gone to the Bahamas several times. I've taken them to the Bahamas several times. We owned a timeshare in Freeport.
Oh, okay.
And so we had our own space. We would use, our resort's yacht and go off to Peterson's Key.
Oh, you always having a good time, man. You always balling.
Craig.
No, seriously, I gave them adventures. And when they would come back home and tell their mom about these things, we want to work extra hard and get our grades up so that we are able to buy a condo and get us a yacht whenever we go on vacation or go on excursions. Because every year was a different set of excursions.
Wow.
That just probably pissed her off.
It did. Because then she took him back to court to modify child support. Because
you're balling.
It is quite obvious that you have more money that you can funnel towards your children.
Wow.
That's deep.
I'm telling you, the height of ridiculousness
Yeah.
is immeasurable.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
So these girls actually came and they're talking to me and they're like, you are so different from what we were told that you were. And we're now seeing for ourselves as teenagers that you really do care about us.
Wow.
As individuals.
And that's good. And that's what they say. Go ahead.
When I told their father, so Hurricane, like I said, in my mind, this was the end of the end. Hurricane Matthew came October 6th, and that was the exact same day. Once I found out that my parents were okay, because, again, Hurricane Matthew made landfall in Grand Bahama, on the western end of Grand Bahama.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are about 30 miles. They're in the Freeport-Lucaya area.
Okay.
I told them, I've given you everything that I possibly can to a marriage. I have nothing else to offer you.
Yeah.
The level of disrespect from you, your mother, and your ex-wife.
So the mother and the ex-wife were in cahoots.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, you had the army against you.
Literally.
His mother.
Jeez.
His mother,
mind you.
the ex-wife.
Oh, his mother.
Yeah, his mother.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I would show up at her house, and his mother would say, "Oh, what's new with whatever her name was?"
Oh my.
Or she was just asleep. She was just a sweet girl that just made some mistakes. So it got to a point where I said to him, "I need you to tell your mother to please stop talking about your ex-wife."
Oh, so the mother was
His
a fan of
response.
it. The mother
Yeah.
liked the ex-wife.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so
She was
the
in
ex-wife
support of the
had
ex-
backup.
You see what I tell you about the dumb
The
gram is?
ex-wife had backup.
My goodness.
The ex-wife
His
had backup.
response was,
Uh-huh.
"This is her house, and she can say whatever the hell she wants to say."
Oh my goodness.
I
Wow.
thanked him, and I never went back. That was 3.5 years into our marriage.
Wow. That is.
So that was a
When I
situation
say
that
I
you.
have stories,
Yes.
it is. I cannot. I look back and I go, why did I even try so hard
Right,
to stay in a
right.
marriage? And I think part of it was this was a second marriage for me.
Right. So
My
you really
son
wanted
didn't
it
have
to
a
work.
relationship with his father.
Yeah.
This person was representing themselves to be a father, even though I'm learning now that there are things that he did that were like, what? But to some extent, my son was intimidated of him.
Right.
It wasn't a respect. You know how we Bahamians, we say we scared of mommy and daddy. No, which is a healthy fear. You know, if your parents call your name in a certain octave, you drop whatever you're doing and you're
you know
there.
what that means.
No, this was, he used his size. He's 6'1", 220 some pounds. He used his size to intimidate everyone,
Wow.
except me. Because my philosophy is I'm 5'2"3/4", and I've probably been the same height since 6th grade, and small axe cut down big tree every day.
You was a Bahamian conch outside the head, my boy.
Bomb.
Brat.
Wow.
So
That's a lot.
I've been removed from the Bahamas for 28 years, but I'm Bahamian.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We could hear that. We could hear that.
Short and
I'm
biggity
48
Bahamian.
years old, and at 48, I go and I say to myself, what? Why did I even waste my time? Why did I stay trying to commit to something that was destined to fail from the very beginning?
So, roommate, I'm curious because there are a lot of women who are interested in dating a man who may have a child or children. Do you have
And I say
any
don't.
advice?
Wow. She already gave advice.
She
Don't.
said don't.
Don't.
Simple. Don't.
Were there any signs that the situation was as bad prior to?
Well, she
I know you said
they
she was
weren't-
in another state,
Right.
but
There
you know
were
anything.
a multiplicity of signs.
Yeah.
Oh, but you just
you
ignored
know
them.
how they say, you know how people say love is deaf, blind, dumb, and it's stupid.
Yep.
Okay.
So you go, okay, so I will help to accommodate and facilitate so that this wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
So that he wouldn't have to overcompensate. In retrospect, yes, the signs were blaring. There were red flags everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I'm
think
now learning that I was also married to a narcissistic psychopath.
WTF.
Well, it's a good thing you got out.
That's the clinical.
Because
That's the clinical version.
2 weeks after I told him I was leaving, he then revealed that he had been receiving. Now I'm paying into his mortgage, okay, helping him pay his mortgage because his constant cry is he didn't have enough money because he's having to pay child support. And I'm thinking I'm helping our family. Again, every vacation we went on, I paid for.
Right.
wow. This is, woo.
Charles?
And
You
we
were real
both
rich.
work in corporate America.
Yeah.
I paid for their health insurance for 3 years.
Yeah.
Don't tell me this
There
man was
no
making
limit
bank.
to what I wouldn't do to help to facilitate and move my family forward.
Right.
You know this whole thing of the church telling women to be the helpmate? No. It's wrong. No,
Say it
is
again,
wrong.
Ruby.
And I'll tell you why it's wrong. I'll tell you why it's wrong. A man is supposed to do 3 things.
Okay.
He's supposed to provide, protect, and profess his love.
Okay.
Those are the 3 things that he is supposed to do.
Okay.
And if he fails to do any one of them, he has failed.
Go ahead, Dad. Go ahead.
Now tell
So
me.
we're being told as women that we need to be the helpmate. Oh, when they're deficient in providing, then we need to help and step in and carry the load. No.
So tell us, Rumi, what
Rumi, you don't have no churching.
So tell us what what then is the woman's role?
Boss a
Because
collection plate.
you told us what a man is supposed to do in a relationship. So what if a woman's role is not to be the helpmate? What exactly is a woman's role in a relationship then?
Okay. And when I say not to be the helpmate, I'm saying she's not supposed to pay the mortgage on the house. I'm not saying she's not supposed to help pay the light bill, the gas bill, the sewer, and the water. But hell, I was paying half the mortgage, the water, the light, the sewer, paying for vacation, paying for dinners when we went out, buying everyone's clothes in the house because
you sound like you get right, Roman.
Yeah, you sound like the man.
Exactly,
that's
because
what you
we
try
have
to
been
do.
indoctrinated
Yes,
to be
to do
the
that.
helpmate.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Go ahead.
But that don't sound like helpmate, Rumi. That sound like you
But
as a provider.
a lot of women are doing that.
That sound like provider to me.
Like she said, we've been indoctrinated to do it.
I was being used.
This isn't new.
You are being used.
As an instrument.
Yeah.
I was being used to help him to get to his financial place that he needed to be.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So this conversation came so late in the game.
Yes.
But when I realized it,
Yes.
I was done.
Wow.
Wow.
And then because I was being, listen to this term, financially abused,
Okay.
you have all of my income tied up in buying our clothes, paying for groceries, paying for health insurance, paying for vacations,
There's a lot of
paying
people's
half the
story
mortgage, the light, the water, the sewer, the gas, all the essential things, and providing for my son because I have full custody of him and all of his expenses.
So hold on, Rumi.
I'm financially.
He was doing the cooking
I'm
and the cleaning and all these
financially
other things. He was taking care of homie.
No.
Hold on.
He works in corporate America just like me
Oh, my
and
God.
is in the military.
Rumi,
Yeah.
I wish
So,
you didn't
yes,
know me during this
I
time.
was
I could tell
being
you get on
used.
that. That don't sound right at
I
all.
was being used.
I want to finish,
I was
Greg.
being used.
Sorry.
So by the time I realized the gravity of all of this,
Yes.
now I have to devise my plan. Now I have 6 months to come up with an escape plan.
Yeah.
Then the execution of that plan. Then making sure that we get out with
Alive.
in peace and not in pieces.
Wow.
Wow.
Serious thing that.
So, yeah. When we talk about are there vindictive baby mamas, ex-wives that will go to extreme measures? Yes. But are
Yeah.
these men complicit in their role to stand up and say, okay, I need to set clear boundaries for you? Sometimes.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
And you know what? I'm
And these
surprised because
children are definitely held as emotional
Pawns.
pawns
Yeah.
to hold them as hostages.
And I'm surprised because I was expecting more men to come forward with their stories because I
They
thought
can't. They're
but it-
terrified.
they scared.
it seems
man.
as though women are being terrorized by vindictive baby mamas also.
Of course
they
are.
I was not
Yes.
aware of the degree to which women are also going through this issue with dealing with, vindictive baby mamas. I had no clue.
It's real out there.
Wow. Well, Rumi, listen, we appreciate you for
Thank you, Rumi.
calling and telling your story. Long
calling
distance.
from foreign.
Listen, I wish we could have sent you some minutes, but you're on a whole different carrier. Boy, listen,
That is okay.
yeah, I really appreciate it.
We
Thank
gotta get you on the show.
you. Yeah, we got to do a show with you so we can discuss some more
Specifically with
things.
you. Yeah.
And we have to figure out how this WhatsApp thing works because it's not clear on my end either.
Oh
Yeah.
that's it has, and that's why I don't like WhatsApp calls because if the connection isn't
big.
very strong, it's going to be difficult to have a conversation over WhatsApp. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think
Yeah.
it'll be better. I think it works better here in the Bahamas. Once everybody's on Wi-Fi, but I guess these different companies, is an issue with the connection. But again, I want to say thank you, and that's brave of you, bold of you to share your story because I'm
Yes.
sure a lot of people are also going through that and are not brave enough to share their experience. So hopefully you help somebody with your advice. Don't do it. Hopefully you help somebody to get out of a bad situation or not get themselves caught up in a bad situation like you did for so long.
That's deep.
Exactly.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
So here's the
Romaine.
thing.
So thanks again, roommate. We
People don't
appreciate it.
talk-
Oh, sorry. Go
People
ahead.
don't talk about their situations. People are not willing to talk about their situations because one, they don't want nobody to know their business.
Right.
They don't want to look crazy and foolish among their friends. Like I said, I live in the U.S. My family, every member of my family is in the Bahamas, but I live in the U.S. So I don't care what people think or say about me.
Oh, right. Okay,
I
so
have
you're
to live
removed.
my
Right.
life for myself,
Yeah,
right.
nice,
And
nice.
this is a small
and
society
I'm
where so much
removed
people.
from that situation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably done getting passed around in one group somewhere for true.
Boy, you hear that tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have the, like you said, you have the luxury of not being in the country to be caught up in. It's so small and a close knit society that so many people know each other that they don't want.
But so many
their
people
business.
going through it.
Yeah, I agree. But we don't want to. For some reason, we don't want to discuss these issues and deal with it. We
Yeah.
just keep it in and just deal with it and get stressed out. I don't. Yeah, it's like she said, it's a cancer that just continues to grow inside our system, and we got to deal with it.
Yeah.
But like I said, hopefully you help some people.
Always a
Maybe we
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Romaine.
you so much.
Bye, Romaine.
Bye-bye.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Listen,
You want to hear another story?
go ahead.
More story?
This is the story show. This show belongs to the people today. The
Yeah.
people running this show today.
Yeah.
It's all over. A 3-month-old court-assigned visitation takes time, and until that point comes, I'm completely and utterly at the mercy of the baby mama and seeing my kid. She constantly finds reasons to deny me my right to be involved in my child's life. I've begged to see my daughter for even 5 minutes, and the mother absolutely will not allow it to happen as she continues to come up with reason after reason to F me out of this. There's no case of violence or abuse or any form of attack. To add salt to the wound, the money I do give her is never enough in her eyes. So my money is going toward my child that I don't even have the privilege of seeing.
My goodness.
Sad.
Look at Dakota talking, but she reached. Dakota, you reached when we finished, man. We about to close out right now. We've been on for more than an hour. You miss all them stories. Listen, Dakota.
We gotta do it again.
Yeah, roommate called us and listen, the thing she was going through. Listen, I couldn't do it. I can tell you now, I couldn't deal with that. That's.
But like she say, we've been indoctrinated to deal with it.
Yeah, grit your teeth and bear it.
Do give help, whatever, and to what extent?
Yeah, but we gotta address the core issue of these these women that have these vendettas, because it's just selfish acts where they're endangering the child. Like I said, them children grew up all the time thinking that this woman was this evil witch, and all the time she doing everything in her power to build a bond, build a healthy relationship,
Provide
care
for them.
provide for them, health
Exactly.
insurance, vacations, all of these good things this woman doing for them. And just because of their vindictive ma, they think this woman is the wicked witch from the west.
The wicked witch syndrome.
And it's happening all over the place. And like I said, the women are telling their kids that your daddy don't love you,
Right.
your daddy don't want to see you, he don't care about you.
He with that bitch.
No
Yeah,
good.
like-
Yep.
And he yeah.
No. That is so true.
Yeah, and there's automatically that the woman is some kind of evil person. Like
Yeah.
the video, I don't know if you saw the video.
Oh,
that
with
was
by
posted.
Via.
Yeah,
By Via
Oh, see, you know where
Cafe
it was
on
at.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
big
She say it was
pussy.
Via.
Yeah, look at her tipping.
How you know what this woman vagina look like? You
She
know
fresh up.
Why do
And
they
you
always-
fresh up.
When you see them, and I guess when you see them attack the woman right away,
Yeah.
that's a clear sign that they still have some
Have,
feelings
yeah.
or want
Yeah.
some kind
Yeah,
It
if this
wasn't
person,
only
if this
about the
person is a
child.
deadbeat,
Right.
you
Yeah.
deal with the person that you have the child with.
Yes.
The female, and y'all ain't in a relationship. He wasn't cheating on you.
Right.
He was having a date with somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See that, and that's another thing. But that's a different topic for a
Yeah,
different
if
day.
you are a baby father, you can't call the baby mother crazy and vindictive and spiteful if you're still engaging in a physical, intimate relationship with her, aka y'all still grinding. That don't make no sense.
Well,
You fueling her crazy with that good
Not to
Dougie.
be honest, Gail. I mean,
Oh Lord have mercy. What you would do if it's
You
sweetie?
know what they say.
What you want him do if
You know
it's
what they
sweetie?
say.
listen, I mean,
No, you're encouraging the behavior
I
because,
agree, I
as
agree, I
roommate
agree.
said, there were no boundaries set.
I
So
agree.
this woman can call any time of day. She has access to the penis. She could do this and call for this and do that. Then
Right.
now, that's not a vindictive baby mother. That's a psychotic baby father.
Well, the two of them crazy. Two of them crazy.
I belong to Flicking Gather.
Yeah, two of them crazy. And they only got bad results on the children in that relationship.
Exactly.
And we only continuing to destroy families in our society by engaging in these acts of selfishness, looking out for our own emotions, trying to fill it. Listen, people, y'all got to make yourself happy, you know.
Yes.
Stop seeking people in these relationships
and
to
children.
make you happy in life. You have to come into a relationship happy.
Yes.
Like you could be happy by yourself.
Yeah.
You already fulfilled in the needs that you have in your life. You can't go into a relationship seeking this from somebody else. Because you end up like these crazy people when it's broken off. You know what I mean? So we need to heal ourselves. We need people to heal themselves. We need people to know that you're responsible for your own happiness.
Yeah.
Heal the world, make it a better place.
Nobody responsible for your happiness.
Yeah.
Not the baby
I think
daddy.
we gotta do a part 2 of this, and we gotta somehow get some men. Well, besides the flip side, because we will address vindictive or deadbeat baby fathers at some point.
But this get talked about all the time.
All the time.
Trust me. Y'all reasons to go to the roof because all the guys are caught.
It's just we really want to hear from the we really want to hear from the fathers. You know what I mean? That everybody seems to be so terrified to speak about this.
That's the unfortunate thing is that men are so afraid. And I think it just goes to show the power of a woman in these situations, that men cower and just stay silent with the issues that they have.
Yes.
But a woman, quick to talk about how bad, how deadbeat her baby daddy is.
Yeah.
Women all day bashing men because there aren't any consequences.
Yeah.
You could bash men all day. No
and he's not keeping your child from you.
Exactly. So that goes to show how powerful women are.
Men, feel free. If you're scared to appear on the show, inbox us. We will try this again. We will probably have another show with Rume and anybody else.
Yes.
Oh, Rume say she bought both girls $50 straw dolls. She threw them away and said that she didn't want voodoo dolls in her house.
Well,
someone racist.
Like a psycho. She's a flicking psycho.
You know what? Some advice before, just to wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
For the guys, grow some balls. The thing is, what's the worst thing that could happen if you stand up for yourself? Yeah. Go and establish paternity before the courts. Get your
keep your receipts.
Keep your receipts.
Yes.
Get your court-appointed visitation.
Good night. I just want to piggyback on what Greg said a few moments ago, right, about men going through these things and not saying anything. And I had posted a status recently on Facebook, and this guy, he came on to remind me and to remind women that, there are also women who don't realize that they're not responsible for a certain thing, right? So I said, this is not the forum for you to complain and save your sex and tell us, we know that women do the same thing. So the point of my story is this. He said, well, you don't see us men complaining that women aren't doing their jobs. I said to him, who taught y'all not to complain? Why are men suffering in silence? Yes. Who taught men to suffer in silence? I said, y'all have a right to complain and call things out the same way we do. Right. But unfortunately, the reason for this, in my opinion, is in our society, men have been taught that it's manly to not complain about things. You grin and you bear it and you take it and you deal with it, and that is the manly way.
Right.
And so this is why we come across so many men suffering in situations, suffering, not seeing their children, not being able to be a part of their lives. And they're simply saying, we just deal with it. We just decide to not be in the child's life because the situation is this or the situation is so stressful. It's simply because they have been taught to not complain, to not say anything. You deal with it as a man, you take it as it comes, and however you need to deal with it, that's what you do. That is the Bahamian way.
Wow.
Truth.
Powerful. I agree completely. That's true. Thank you so much for that contribution, Dakota. You catch us right before we wrap up. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
See you after show. Bye-bye.
All right, people.
Bye-bye.
I have a name.
All right, Dakota. All right, so I guess we could wrap up on that. Like I said, we'll probably have this discussion another. Because listen,
I think so. We want to hear from the guys.
Yeah, I really want to hear from the guys. We gotta go on a hunt for some men that are brave enough to actually speak about this issue, and even if it's
we'll
not
disguise your voice.
even if it ain't a person you could call, I ain't disguising no voice.
I disguise in your voice. Don't mind, Greg. I'll disguise your voice.
But I mean, if they could call in and just because we can continue to go through this. If we don't say nothing, you cannot just grit your teeth and bear it and suck it up as a man. We have to come out.
Throw some balls.
Because a lot of people feel like these things aren't happening. A lot of people going around thinking it's only deadbeat daddies and bad baby daddies and men suck and men are horrible and terrible fathers all around. And we responsible for that because we allow it to happen. We don't fight for our like you say, our sex, the person who come to fight for their sex. We don't fight to explain what's really going on, that we really do want to be involved. We really do want to be great fathers. But we have some women that their life's mission is to make our lives hell and keep us away from our children because they know how much we love them and how much it means to us, and that's the biggest way they can hurt us. So we have to start speaking out, guys. I mean, like I say, I understand why you want to remain silent, but just men in general, men, we have to start speaking out. You know what I mean? We have to start saying these things because it's just going to continue to get worse.
Yes.
If we don't. And women, and as you can see, women don't have no problem talking bad about man.
Nope.
They'll bash men all day. All the terrible, no good baby daddies who don't do nothing for their children. So if we have no good baby mothers who try to destroy our children, we need to do the same thing.
Agreed.
And women, please accept the products that men decide to buy for their children. It's not only money that's going to show that the man loves or appreciates and wants to support their child, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Keep your
Dakota
receipts.
Co-parent.
Dakota say, take these women to court.
When you take them to court, bring the receipts.
Establish
All
paternity
the
first.
receipts.
Oh, yes, that's a good point, Gail. Make sure
you keep your receipts for everything. Everything you buy, whatever deposit you make, island lock deposit, scan the receipt because it is fake. Take a photo.
Everything.
Bring everything.
Yeah, because you know they can say this nigga ain't do nothing for these children.
You need to have proof.
So you got to have proof.
Yes.
Carry your proof to the court.
Yep.
Because you can need it.
Yep.
And yeah, folks, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Roommate, again.
Thank you,
For
roommate.
your contribution.
Thank you, Dakota.
This was the Roommate show. The last half of our show was for her.
Yeah.
You know what I
She
mean?
got some
She
stuff
had a
off her
very
chest.
Yes,
that's a powerful story.
Listen, I was enlightened.
Yes.
And for the past few weeks, I've been enlightened by
more and
a lot
more.
of these. Yeah, more
Truth.
and more as to what's going on in this town and the issues that we're dealing with. And that's the
That's it.
purpose of the show. You know what I mean? To reveal these things,
What
these
is
issues
gas swept
that no one wants to talk about.
under the rug.
Yeah, so let's continue
Let's
to
wrap
have
up.
these conversations. Appreciate it, Gail.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure. Jay,
Thank you, Jay.
thank you for sliding in and filling in at the last minute.
The
You're
ninth
welcome,
hour.
Greg and
Come
Dakota.
in the clutch.
You're in great for South Dakota.
And thank you guys. Please share the video because, like I said, I was enlightened. Enlighten some people because a lot of us don't know these things that are going on in this society. So please share the video. Share it. You don't have to share it just once. Share it 3, 4, 5, 15 times. However many times you want to share it, go ahead. Tag your friends in it. We want to get this message out. We want to have these conversations. And the only way we can do it is through you guys tuning in and spreading the show and spreading the knowledge about it. So go ahead, hit that share button. Also, visit goundertherug.com. That's where all of the shows are. We have the shows are on iTunes, on SoundCloud. You can just search for the Under the Rug podcast on YouTube. The shows are on there, and you guys are tuning in on Facebook, so obviously you know it's on Facebook. But just continue to support. Let's continue to have these conversations. Let's build a better Bahamas, people. Until next time, peace.
It's the after show for Dakota show. After show for Dakota. Yeah, man. She's keeping it 100.